This video is brought to you by BossRootin.com and
check out ProBoxingSupplies.com, PowerPerformanceProducts.com, and you're watching MMAinterviews.tv.
I told him you can't. I mean, why? You know, like the shtick was funny for a while, but going in at 265 with a frame that doesn't carry 265 makes no sense when you're a professional fighter or a professional athlete of any kind. He got his weight down. You know, he's tough though, man. He's so tough. He's one of the toughest guys I've ever seen, ever.
So even with the loss, you think he's safe right now?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, the guy brings it. He comes to fight. You know, you wonder what he could do if he really trained and got into it.
Did you think Nick was serious when he said he was retiring?
You never know with Nick Diaz, you know? You never know. I think he's just upset right now, and I think he's emotional, but who knows? Let me tell you what, the kid's made a lot of money. I mean, if he didn't want to do it anymore, maybe he could retire, but why? He's in his prime. Fight a few more years, and you'll have enough money to really do it and kick back for the rest of your life.
When you hear Josh Koscheck say that he's no longer with AKA, that was, there were some matchups there that you wanted to put together for a long time.
That's what I whispered to him. I said, now I'm doing the John Fitch fight. That's what I said to him.
What was his reaction?
He said, good luck with that.
So you think you still wouldn't be open to it right now? Or does the evil genius inside of you just want to put that together, regardless of whether it makes sense?
That's what Lorenzo said.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what Lorenzo said too. I don't know. No, I'm just fucking with him. You know, if the fight made sense, because there was a time when those two were both going like this, and you know, if the fight made sense though, yeah, I'd try to make it. I wouldn't do it just to do it. Josh looked flat tonight, man. It looked like I expected Josh to have the faster hands, you know, let him go. He didn't really let his hands go tonight. He looked flat.
Renan Barão, people are starting to look at him. He's kind of flying under the radar, I think.
Not in Brazil, he's not.
No, definitely not. What did you think about his performance? I know you don't like the matchmaking. Obviously, you've already got a title fight set up in that division.
Right.
But what do you think about that guy?
Yeah, I think he's, you know, first of all, he's got an incredible streak going. He's huge, but he's the buzz right now in Brazil. Everybody's buzzing about that guy. And we'll see what happens. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know you mentioned it a little bit during the press conference, but did you talk to George St. Pierre after the fight? And if you do, what do you think that conversation's going to be like?
Yeah, I didn't. You know, I know he wanted Diaz, and he really wanted that Diaz fight bad, but it's not going to be Diaz. So he better get angry with Carlos Condit, or focused on Carlos Condit, or whatever it is he needs to do. Some of these knee surgeries that they do now are just as good as, Jerry Rice 10 years ago came back off after a knee surgery and was still awesome. I think it depends on the individual, but these new knee surgeries are way different than they used to be.
Poirier looked really good tonight. Do you have any idea of setting him up with the Korean Zombie or any of the guys that he's mentioning?
Well, yeah, obviously, those would be exciting fights, and we like to give guys fights that they want. So it could happen, yeah. I'm not saying yes that's his next fight, but yes, it could be.
I know you're going back to Brazil, going to Japan.
Tomorrow.
Any chance or any word of what quarter, which month that the UFC will be coming to Hawaii?
No, we're still working on that, but we want to do it. I was kind of hoping, go to Hawaii again and do like a BJ fight, at the Aloha Bowl, but BJ wants to take some time off and he's going to relax for a while, so. I land Monday and start filming. We film the first day in Rio, and then the next 2 days we film in Sao Paulo.
And so what's the opportunity for us to see those fights? Has there already been a plan established for us to see that show?
They're gonna be on UFC.com, and they're gonna be somewhere else too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yes, everybody's gonna be able to see them. It was the longest season we've ever done. It was something like 8 weeks, and those guys were losing their fucking minds. Bonner jumped. I almost kicked Bonner off the show. Bonner climbed up, turned the shower on, pretended he was taking a shower, climbed out the window, and went to a liquor store because we took all the liquor out of the house. Remember, after the big fight, and he got caught. Obviously, these idiots were in there driving around for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it was. That house was in the middle of nowhere. There's no liquor store near there. The guy was walking for like an hour and 30 minutes. So the shower was on. We caught him leaving, and imagine that. So much crazy shit happened that first season. Imagine if I kicked Stephan Bonner off the show. for going to a liquor store. Forrest and Stefan would have never happened. It's just weird. So, thank God.
So with that in mind, it doesn't concern you that you're going to sequester these guys for 4 weeks longer than that?
No, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's going to be crazy.
Any updates on the other international toughs? You said a few weeks ago that you were really close to signing a couple other international toughs as well.
Yeah, we are. Should be anytime now. It's probably going to be India.
India next.
India will probably be first.
I know your ultimate goal is kind of the tough World Cup thing. How many countries do you need on board before you can hold a tournament? I mean, you can do it with just 4? Or?
Yeah, you can do it with 4, 5, 6. I mean, yeah, definitely. All the winners fight each other, and you end up with one winner. Well, you know we're in a lawsuit with the state of New York, and I'm very, very confident that we're going to win. Very confident. So
Is that the one on
it's
the
just
First Amendment?
the question is, how do you know, how fast do these things move? You know, our first showing over there, we did really well. Sorry, I didn't mean to kick your camera. We did really well, so very confident that this is going to go our way. Yeah, went down during the fight. Yeah.
So what? Anderson finally just said, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, no, he was never not going to fight Chael Sonnen. You guys got to stop listening to Chael. Okay, Chael is full of shit, and we're working on the third one right now. I know what it is, yes, but it's not done yet, so I don't want to say anything until this thing's done. This one's trickier than the other two.
You could give.
Just cause.
Will there only be 3 fights?
Huh?
Will there only be 3 fights?
Yeah. No, there'll be more than 3 fights.
On the main card?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Probably be 4.
Really? So what, do you know what the 4th one is?
No, that we don't even have the 4th one yet.
And that's New Jersey. There are rumors that you're going to Atlantic City this summer. Is that true, going back?
I think it is. I think it is true.
Which venue?
The answer was yes. We had talked about it, and Hawaii, and Montreal, and all these others. So, you know, they're all still a work in progress. None of them are set in stone. We actually, I think I fly there next week. I fly there next week to meet with them. So we'll see what happens.
Obviously, you've just crowned a new champion in the welterweight division, and we had Josh and Mike fighting. Coming up, Jake Ellenberger is taking on Diego Sanchez. Where do you see the winner of that fight?
It's a very important fight for not only those guys, but for that weight division too. You know, Ellenberger coming off a big win over Shields, and Diego Sanchez coming off these injuries and getting back into the into the groove again. He's been out for a while, so yeah, it's a big fight for those guys and for that division.
Well, certainly a lot of people think, Ellenberger is a champ in the making. How many fights away do you think he could be from a title shot if he is victorious over Diego?
You know, it depends on how that fight goes. You know, Diego is a fighter that a lot of people respect. You know, you don't just go in and walk through Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez is usually in a knockdown, drag him out war. And so it would depend. If he went in there and made quick work of Diego Sanchez, after just coming off and knocking out Jake Shields, pretty good place to be. The fans are mad about the way Carlos Condit fought. Too fucking bad. You know what I mean? You're mad at the way he fought. He went in there and he fought a great fight. Stuck to his game plan. Didn't fall into Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is the master of getting you to fight his type of fight, because fighters have egos, you know, and millions of people are watching. When you start getting open hand slapped by the other guy and getting called, he's calling you names. All right, you want to do this? They dive in and they do it. Carlos Condit kept his cool tonight, fought a perfect fight, and like he said, started early chopping those legs, and that did make a big difference toward the end of the fight. Well, it seemed like there was only George St. Pierre because he was dominating everybody, you know? He was so dominant. It's like the 185-pound division. Everybody thinks it's the weakest division in the world, which it's not. Just the baddest dude in the world has the belt in that division, so he makes it look very weak.
Dana, did you get any fan response for the brand new opening? And how did you feel the first time you saw it in the arena?
Yeah, it was cool. Actually, right after when I was going through Twitter and people were going crazy over it. People loved it. So, yeah, I was very satisfied. Taking out life insurance policy for Chael to go down to Brazil. I think he's going to be okay in Brazil. there's a lot of people that hate him, but people love these type of rivalries. I mean, for Brazil, you heard the guy earlier talking about what it's like down in Brazil. For those of you that haven't gone down there yet to a live fight and been, it's insane, man. It is insane. And he's right. The numbers that we're pulling, I mean, we peaked at 6.6 million or something the other night on Fox. And we're like, fucking woohoo, that's awesome. We're doing 50 million people watching down there. And
2 in the morning.
There's only 200 million people in the country, and absolutely those numbers are going to keep going up and up and up. And I think that this Ultimate Fighter down there is going to be huge. The Ultimate Fighter is going to be huge. It's just to explain to you guys how big this is. It's crazy. And in the 10 years that we've been working in all these other markets, 56,000 up in Toronto was phenomenal. I mean, it was so. We're going to do 80,000 people in the soccer stadium down there. I was thinking it after the fight. I was like, you know what? People bitching, people think that was close, and people whatever. We could do that fight again before GSP comes back.
Would you do it as Carlos's next fight?
I don't know. Depends on Carlos, too. Carlos has really got to say. And Nick's got to say I want to fight him again, too. So.
Raj Kundra, he owns a bunch of cricket teams. He owns a major cricket team. He brought in Ken Pavia to run his...
he hooked up with the biggest piece of shit on earth.
Super fight.
Yeah, super piece of shit guy. That's who he hooked up with. I hate Ken Pavia. He's a scumbag.
Godspeed and party on.